The Lelit Elizabeth can do 3 types of espresso shots. It can do your standard shot, but it can also do a pre-infusion using steam pressure out of the steam boiler, or a bloom phase, which is a pre-infusion where the pump cuts out and the puck is soaked and it's just allowed to sit in the water for a while. Start with, let's look at a standard shot. In this, the pump runs, it pressurizes the brew boiler, that brew boiler sends brew temperature water into the coffee puck, and it runs for the specified time or until we manually stop the shot. Nothing unusual. The shot types the Lelit Elizabeth has always been able to do, but not quite like this, because this is some new programming, is a pre-infusion using the pressure in the steam boiler to actually apply pressure to the coffee. And for this shot, it's going to be a 33-second shot. It's a 9-second pre-infusion, 6 seconds of which steam pressure is applied and 3 seconds of which the pump runs. So let's have a look at that shot now. The pump runs for 3 seconds, and this is to actually fill the headspace, the voids in the portafilter above the coffee. As you notice, the steam electrovalve remains closed, so the water's come from the brew boiler at the right temperature and is sitting on top of the coffee. The pump now stops and the electrovalve opens, opening the path from the steam boiler into the brew boiler, and it's at the bottom of the steam boiler, so the water from the steam boiler is now being forced into the brew boiler. But because the headspace has been filled, very little water can get in, but what happens is there's a constant pressure, steam pressure now applied onto the coffee puck in the portafilter. And what this does by running the pump initially, it's minimised the amount of superheated water entering the brew boiler, and that means there's very little effect on the boiler stability. So our pre-infusion phase is over. The 9 seconds has been comprised of 3 seconds to fill the headspace, 6 seconds of push from the pressure of the steam boiler, and now the pump will restart and the electrovalve will close, so the rest of the water is forced through the puck from the brew boiler, and the coffee shot continues as normal. The third type of shot Lelit Elizabeth can do is a bloom phase, and this is where the pump pauses briefly and the hot brew water in the coffee puck is allowed to sit for a little while to extract more flavour from it. In this example of a 14-second pre-infusion using bloom phase, it's set for a 6-second pump run and an 8-second pump stop. But you could always set that up for 4 seconds and 6 seconds if you want, and you might find that suits you better. So for the first 6 seconds the pump runs, now the pump stops and no more pressure is applied. As you notice, the electrovalve remains closed and water is not coming out pressure out of the brew boiler, it's just sitting in the coffee puck and extracting flavour. Finally, the pump starts up again and runs for the remainder of the shot, which in this case is 24 seconds, and just pushes water through the brew boiler as normal. But if the bloom phases work correctly, you've got a slightly more permeable puck with a little more flavour applied, so you might need to grind a little bit finer when you're using pre-infusions with bloom phase or with steam pre-infusions.